Hello friends, today we'll discuss the diet plan. It is the basic concept of nutrition, and even in your cases we have a nutritional history where we study the diet pattern of the person, and after that we give advice based on that what should be the person's diet and how should one plan the diet. The learning objectives for current session are the at the end of the session, students should be understand concept of balanced diet, recommended dietary allowances, concept of dietary requirement for reference adult male and female, estimate the calorie requirement for the individual based on physical activity, dietary requirement for the family. What is balanced diet? Balanced diet is a concept where all the essential macronutrients. What are the macronutrients? Protein, calories, and fats. And similarly, micronutrients, these are minerals, vitamins, and so on. So all these are present in quantities and proportions which are required for individual to maintain its health, vitality, and general well-being. As well as there should be some extra in case if if the body is able to store them without having harmful effects, then in that case a little extra for the period of leanness. So it takes into account some days of fasting, some days of deviation from the balance, and generally the balanced diet is not a diet which should be for a watertight compartment for individually every meal. So my breakfast was a balanced diet, my lunch was a balanced diet, my dinner was a balanced diet. It's not like that. The concept is a wholesome concept. It is a it is like a lifestyle how you achieve. So I mean it may not be the case that every meal has all the nutrients that is required, that should be required divided by 3. No, it should be that whole in whole day or in a whole week you should get adequate nutrients that are required. So it is a balance, that is a like a lifestyle change. It's not a it's not a watertight compartment of individual meals. So similarly, it depends on person's age, gender, occupation, physical activity. Any special conditions are required. So in pregnancy, lactation, it will differ. In old age, it's different. So the balance that has to be tailor-made for individual person accordingly. However, there are some general guidelines for a balanced diet that we'll discuss. So this is a food pyramid. You can see here a food pyramid. So what makes the bulk of Indian food is the cereals and millets. So you take chapati, you take rice, bhakris, even your cornflakes, everything. These are basically cereals and millets. Then the fruits and vegetables should come later. Actually, if you can buy, if you can eat, if this makes the bulk of your food, then that is the best type of diet. But at least it should come at least next to that. Then there should come dairy and nuts and oil seeds, pulses, legumes. All this comes after that. And last should be fats and sugars, which should be in very small quantities. So basic principles are daily protein requirement should be met. Roughly protein requirement is zero point 0.9 to 1 gram per body weight, gram per kg body weight. So to understand in the diet perspective, this should make 10 to 15% of total energy intake. Okay, fat consumption should make 15 to 30% of daily energy intake. Carbohydrates should be complex carbohydrates, not simple carbohydrates. It should be fibrous carbohydrates. So what are the simple carbohydrates? Eating sugar, honey, these are the simple carbohydrates. We should tend to avoid them. Instead we should take fibrous fruits. Okay, and the most important, that micronutrients requirement has to be met, then only we can call a diet as a balanced diet. See, by before going to the in details, I am assuming that you know that 1 gram of carbohydrates, 1 gram of protein give 4 kilocalories of energy, while 1 gram of fat gives 9 kilocalories of energy. So you can judge how much fat should one consume, how much protein should one consume, depending on that. Now, dietary goal. The WHO expert committee has given some dietary goal. That goals are known as prudent diet. So what is that protein diet? Dietary fat should be limited to maximum 30% of total energy intake. So it should be 15 to 30%, out of which saturated fat should be less than 10%. Protein should make again 10 to 15% of the daily intake of the energy. We have to avoid refined sugars or carbohydrates. Instead of natural fibers should be included more. Energy rich sources like fats and alcohol should be restricted. Salt should be less than 5 grams per day, and as you can see in India it's average 15 grams per day. Wheat chutneys, wheat papads and all the processed foods, so all these add up to the salt intake. That is not good. Junk food should be avoided. Trans fat should be minimal or even absent. How trans fat is prepared? Produced. Trans fat is produced by reheating of the oil repeatedly. So that should be avoided. Here one thing is that when we see when we think of dieting, we say that no fat should be taken. No, fats are important. Fats make important part of the diet. There is essential fatty acids are necessary, or there are many harmful effects that can outcome of that. So proteins and fats are irreplaceable, but what kind of fat we consume, that is important. Saturated fat should be less and unsaturated fat should be more. Okay. At different life stage there is different necessity of a diet. So balanced diet for an adult is different, balanced diet for a kid is different, balanced diet for an geriatric patient is different. For a child under 5 specifically, or even under or infants, growth and appropriate milestones is major necessity. So the child's diet should be breast milk, exclusive breast milk for first 6 months, and later weaning along with breast milks until 2.5 years. Energy rich food should be there, so it should contain high fats, high sugars. That is necessary because basal metabolic rate is also higher. The child burns its fuel very fast. Then as the child grows, goes to a preschool age, in school age, the bodybuilding is more important and fighting of infections. So energy rich high protein diet is required. So milk, fresh vegetables, fruits, poultry, all these things must be included in the child. Then comes adolescent. Adolescent is the second growth period. After infancy, the fastest growth is during the adolescence period. And similarly, the gonadal maturation also occurs. That is why bodybuilding and protective foods are important. So rich in protein, rich in calcium, rich in iron. These foods are the must during that period. For adult health, maintenance of the body, and in case of women, pregnancy or lactation are the main objectives. Hence, nutritionally adequate food is important. And the special cases like pregnancy and lactation, there is a need for additional supplements. After the certain age, requirement of calorie reduces. The muscle become lean, bones start to lose calcium. So during that period, nutrition dense low fat foods are required. So protein requirement does not decrease. Protein requirement should not be decreased, but calorie requirement it decreases whether you want or not. But senior citizen will consume less food. So we have to see that the micronutrient deficiency does not occur, because as the quantity of food decreases, the quantity of every nutrient decreases. So nutrition dense food is to be given, but that should not be heavy, not should be difficult to digest. Now there is different concept. When we said the balanced diet definition, we said adequate quantities and proportions. So what are these quantities and proportion? So there is concept called adequate intake. Now how that adequate intake is established? Because I may think that okay, 2 chapatis are sufficient for me. Somebody of you will say, oh, I need four chapatis. Someone say I need two fulkas only. So depends. Everybody's thought process is different. Everybody will think that the requirement is different. So how we decide what is adequate? So for that adequate intake, basically recommended dietary allowance is a concept that is the best suited for this. But if it is not possible, if it is not calculated, then we can first take a concept of adequate intake. basically where multiple apparently healthy individuals will be taken into consideration, and they will be followed for long period of time, and we can see whether there is nutritional imbalance or not. So I am giving a just rough example. Suppose we want to calculate how much iron is required so that person may not become anemic, and we don't know exactly what is the recommended dietary allowance. So what we will do, we will follow up uh, say 1000 non-anemic person, and we calculate every day how much iron they are consuming, and we'll follow them for few years, and if we see that whether they are getting anemic or not, if they are not getting anemic, they are remaining their HB level is remaining normal, then we can safely say that on an average how much iron those guys were consuming, those 1000 guys were consuming, and then we can say that this is adequate intake. Now tolerable upper intake level, basically many foods, if they are consuming higher quantities, they result in adverse effect. So in appropriate quantity, the thing that is required or that is healthy, in inappropriate quantities that may be dangerous. So that is known as tolerable upper intake level. So for every food it is calculated. So the food which is stored in higher quantities like fat soluble vitamins, the tolerable upper intake is lower, while the food which is not easily stored, which is excreted easily, then in these such cases like vitamin B, in such cases tolerable upper intake level is higher. Estimated average requirement, EAR, this is very commonly used in nutrition. Here we calculate a healthy individual, out of that half of individual, if they are meeting the nutritional requirement, if they are not getting sick by consuming that amount is considered as estimated average requirement. Okay, this concept is basically used for in many places, especially when the countries are calculating the need of food for distribution, free food distribution. So आता है ना कि 5 kgs of rice is for only 1 rupees, and 3 kgs of wheat is only for 2 rupees. So how government calculates how much per kg how much kgs of the rice should be given per person at this low cost? It is calculated estimated average requirement. Okay. This is the most important concept, recommended dietary allowance. Basically, dietary requirement that meets the need of 97.5% healthy person. That is almost all the healthy persons are covered under this recommended dietary allowance. It is specific for age, work type, lifestyle, and physiological part. But remember that if this is met, then most of the people will remain healthy. That is why this should be our target. Whenever we are designing a diet or planning a diet, we should be target achieving the recommended dietary allowance. Okay. RDA depends on individual variability and bioavailability of foods. As we said 97.5, because rest of 2.5% these are does not comes in that level. They may have different capacity, they may have different need, so they may fall in outside this 97.5 percent of the umbrella. And bioavailability of food, you see, not every food stuff is absorbed 100%. Say we are thinking about the RD of iron. You should know that generally for absorbing 1 mg of iron you have to consume 30 mg of iron. So such a poor viability is there. So out of what you consume, only a fraction is absorbed. And if you give RDA just considering what is required, then it may happen that person may consume very less than actually what is absorbed. आप समझ में आ रहा है आपको? So when we are calculating the RDA, safety margins have to be considered over the long term. How much that person should consume, that may lead to proper absorption, that also have to consider. Similarly, we should not that person should not accumulate the said mineral in excess also. So we have to consider all the safety margins. In India, National Institution of Nutrition placed in Hyderabad under ICMR estimates and regularly revises this RDA. Last revision was, it started in 1978 and last revision was done in 2010. Now, various factors affect or influence the RDA. In general, first is gender. The requirement for male is generally higher than female for most of the foodstuff except few like iron, where females is higher. Then age. Adults food requirement is for maintenance, children's is for growth, and old age basically it is for lean maintenance. So proportionally, if you see that the children's have a higher requirement, so considering the body weight per kg body weight, the adult will require surely require less than the child, because child has to gain weight, they has to grow, they has to develop, do the development, so their requirement is proportionally higher. It may not be final figure may be less, but per kg figure if you find out, that will may be higher. Then body weight, the higher the body weight requires the uh, more nutrients. However, if a person wants to lose the body weight, then that person should consume lesser than what is required. Okay. And physical activity, increase physical activity, increase exercise, person is doing sports or some gym every day, so then we have to take into account. So suppose we are calculating the requirement for a clerk, we will say okay, he is sedentary person, but if suppose that person is doing gym for 2 hours in the morning and 2 hours in the evening, so he is doing a, exercise, and if we don't calculate for that, then we may give that a person a diet which is less than what is required by the body. So we have to consider the body physical activity. Okay. Then environment. See, extreme cold, extreme hot, extreme height, all these environment play effect. The requirement of body depends on the person environment person is living. So if person is living in Russia, Siberia, and the person is living on the Africa, on the equator, both have different requirements. The Africa person will require more amount of water. The Siberian person may require lesser amount of water, but the fat requirements will be more in the Siberian person. So that all these things have to be taken into calculation. For basic concept, a reference man and reference woman is considered. These are taken as standard, and the rough RDA is given for that. It doesn't mean that every of your patient will be reference man or reference woman, but you have to think as a how much this person differs from the reference man, or how much this person woman differs from the reference Indian woman, and then we have to manage the diet of this person accordingly. So both reference man and woman are 18 to 29 years of age. For women it is non-pregnant and non-lactating. Actually current reference woman is of 19, not 18, it's 19. 18 is considered an adolescent. So from 19 it is taken. The weight is taken as 60 kg and height 1.73 meters. Similarly the female's weight is 55 and height 161. So BMI happens to be 20.3 for male and 21.2 for female. Both are free from disease and fit and active work. Both have 8 hours of moderate activity per day, including household work, light industry. Okay, both sleep 8 hours per day. These all things are depending, because if the person is having only 4 hours of sleep or 5 hours of sleep, again the requirement will increase, because the body will burn more calories. Both have a sitting work or basic moving for 4 to 6 hours. Both have 2 hours of walking or light activity. So these are the reference man. This can come as a short answer question for 2 marks. So reference Indian female. So you have to write these points. Okay. Now, type of work is very important. Not all people go in gym and spend time, or not people do a special exercise, heavy exercise. I am saying walking for 3 kilometers is it may be cardiovascularly healthy, but it may not affect your nutritional requirement much. So not all people are doing the specific hard exercises. So for those people, the lifestyle or occupation becomes very important. These are the some examples of job or type of work, because the patient, he won't say I am sedentary worker, moderate worker, heavy worker. The patient will just tell you their occupation. You have to judge by their occupation, and some asking leading question ki what type of work you are doing, how much work involves lifting the things or whatever heavy things, so you can judge by that. So generally these are the types of work. So sedentary workers contains teachers, barber, tailor, doctor, nurse, housewife, all this. Moderate workers, potter, carpenters, mason, fishermen, coolie, postman. Heavy workers contains stone cutters, mine workers, farm laborers. See, farm laborers is different and farmers is different. Farmers are the owners of the farms. Some owners may be even sedentary, not sedentary, but maybe moderate workers. They might be doing some little work. Even some may be sedentary also. There are many industrialists who give their occupation as farmer. So you have to ask, okay, you are farmer, but what exactly day-to-day work you do in the farming? So if they say that we give watering to the farm, we remove some weeds, then okay, then that is a moderate worker. But actually farm laborer is there, then that is a heavy worker. Okay. Now see the requirements for a reference Indian man and woman. So if they are sedentary, then the consumption should be 2320 for male. Actually, it is now considered 2400. Roughly, for easy calculation, we take it 2400 as the standard basic. Then similarly, moderate workers and heavy worker, it goes on increasing. For women, again, it is less. It is roughly 0.8 times, that is 20% less than male for sedentary. Again, sedentary female and heavy worker. And this is the rough criteria for easy calculations. What we are doing, we are considering 2400 as basal, and from that we are calculating for what is required for moderated work, what is required for heavy work, what is required for females of sedentary, moderate and heavy work. That we will discuss in subsequent slides. Okay, but this is the rough requirement, understand that. Now age is very important, because as age advances our nutritional requirements are different. The elderly require reduced calories as their lean muscle mass, their muscle mass start losing. There are very few ripped old people, because their muscle mass already reduces. The use of muscle, the effectiveness of muscles also decreases. Then their movements are slowed. It's rare to find very fast and very active old person. So it happens. It is a physiological change. Then the disease, the elderly are more prone to develop disease, and this is because the food intake is lowered, protein intake is lowered, minerals intake is lowered. So this will result in that reflection. So it is recommended good and healthy food habits for old age people. They require this is required to minimize the ill effects of aging and improve the quality of life. In elderly need adequate amount of protein, carbohydrates, fats, vitamins, minerals, and dietary fiber. This is true for everybody. Similarly, they needs all the macronutrients, specifically antioxidants and minerals like calcium, zinc, and vitamin A should be for more, because they try to prevent the age-related degenerative diseases and extend the healthy lifestyle for the people. They have to eat nutrition-rich food. They have to match the food intake with physical activity. So no physical activity is more dangerous. So they have to, even if retired people, they have to start some type form of exercise, form of routine activity. They have to eat in smaller portions. So 2 meals is not sufficient for them. They have to increase that to 3 to 5 meals. So small portion but frequent meals. That is important. And they have to avoid fried, salty, and spicy food. They have to consume water in adequate quantity. This is more bigger problem, because generally elderly try to they consume less amount of water than required. Exercise, regular exercise is very important. Not the heavy work, bodybuilding work, but at least a good quality cardio exercise that should be incorporated in daily lifestyle. Now, for old age, remember that after the fourth decade, the requirement of calories is reduced. So, if you take 18 or 19 to 39, that is a adult male, the requirement is 2400 calories. But after fourth decade, that is reduced by 5%. So 40 to 49 has reduced by 5%. Then from 50 to 59, again more 5%. So it is not just 5%, it is in addition to this 5%, this is additional 5%. So roughly 10% as compared to the adults. From 60 to 69, again 10% is reduced. From 70 to 79, again 10%. So each subsequent decade there should be 10% reduction. Okay. So if male comes, sedentary male comes as an adult for 18 to 39, his requirement is 2400 calories. But of adult of 40 to 49 age, it's 2280 calories. Similarly, after 50, it is 2160 calories. In again from 60 to 69, from male it is 920 calories, and so on. Similarly, for female also you have to calculate accordingly. So basic female is 1920 calories. So again from 40 to 49, reduced by 5%, 50 to 59 reduced by 10%, total 10%, 60 to 69 reduced total 20% from 1920. Remember this. Why this is important? Because what happens, you take a case of a 75-year-old male, then you calculate its nutritional requirement in a case. Okay, he is eating 2 chapatis in the morning, 2 chapatis, all this you calculate a whole calorie intake, and say the calorie intake is 1700 kilocalories, and then you will say, okay, but the need is for 2500 kilocalories, 2400 kilocalories, so the person is deficit by 700 kilocalories, and in advice you will say that intake more food. So this will be totally wrong, because the requirement is 1700 calories. Already the person is meeting the requirement, so the person does not require to increase or decrease the calorie intake. Do you understand? So that is why the age factor is very important. All the cases, remember, diabetes and hypertension, many of the cases will be above 40 surely, and most of the time you get above 60 only. So see the requirement according to age, adjust according to age, and then only calculate and state in the exam case file that okay, this is the requirement and this is the deficit or this is excess, whatever, calculate accordingly. So a person of 60 years of age, if it is eating 2400 calories and he is a sedentary and non-exercise, then that person is not a normal, that on normal diet, that person is taking excess diet, and that should be reduced, or the person will become obese. Do you understand? But one thing, understand that protein requirement is not reduced, protein requirement stays. So the diet has to be adjusted accordingly. It should not decrease so much that protein is also hampered. And artificial protein supplements are not recommended for senior citizens. Effect of pregnancy. Pregnancy is physiologically and nutritionally demanding. A person is already growing, a fetus is growing. So that is why female requires extra additional foods. The women, there is similarly a fat deposition. So generally women should increase the weight from 9 to 11 kgs from her basal weight during pregnancy. However, the child's or baby's weight is 3 kgs, 3.5 kgs standard weight. So remaining weight is of amniotic fluid, placenta, and similarly fat gain during pregnancy, that is required. Okay, and you may not know this, but the calorie requirement for lactation are more than pregnancy. So mother loses more energy during lactation than during pregnancy. Now these are the requirement. I have only given energy, protein, calcium and iron here, but most of the macronutrients, most of the vitamins, they have increased requirement during pregnancy and lactation, that has to be taken into consideration, but these are some major. So during pregnancy, energy requirement increased by 350 kilocalories per day, protein requirement is increased by 2300 calories per day. Total calcium required is 1200 kilocalories. So it's not increased by 1200 milligrams, but it is total 1200 mg is required. For normal or non-pregnant adult women, roughly 600 mg of calcium is required. So it doubles. Iron requirement is 35. For adult female, iron requirement is of 21 mg. So it is increased by 14 mg per day. Okay. Similarly, Lactation, during first 6 months its energy requirement is increased by 600 mg and protein requirement is increased by 19 grams. And during second stint of 6 months, that is 6 to 12 months, energy requirement is 520 kilocalories per day extra, and 13 grams of protein is required extra. Now one exercise, important exercise, is assessing the nutritional requirement of family. For that you need to understand the concept of consumption unit, because this can be a very difficult job. So there may be 7 members, and then remembering their requirement depending on their gender, age and type of work, it may become a very difficult and distressing job. That is why, to make it simple, we considered a concept of consumption unit, or CU. Here, a reference Indian male sedentary male is considered as a standard unit, or we take it as a central unit, and then from with the help of that unit we calculate the requirement for whole family. That is, then we have this will help us in reducing the stress of calculation basically. So what is the energy requirement of reference Indian male? It was 2320, but roughly as I said, we take it as 2400 kilocalories per day. That 2400 kilocalories per day is considered as one consumption unit, or one CU. Now we take into account of others also. So what is the requirement of moderate working male? Moderate working male. It may be coolie, carpenter, stone or a mason. Then what is that requirement? It is 1.2 times consumption unit. That is 1.2 times 2400 calories. That equates to 2880 kilocalories. Similarly, for heavy male we considered requirement is 1.6 consumption unit. For sedentary female we considered requirement as 0.8 consumption unit. For moderate working female we considered requirement as 1 consumption unit, and for heavy working female we considered requirement as 1.2 consumption unit. Accordingly, the calorie requirement is given here. Just remember, sedentary male is 1 consumption unit, and 1 consumption unit is equal to 2400 kilocalories. Moderate male is 1.2, heavy male is 1.6. Heavy worker, not heavy male, heavy worker. Similarly, sedentary female is 0.8, moderate working female is 1, and heavy working female is 1.2 consumption unit. Then you can multiply these 1.8, 1.2, 1.2 or 1.6, all these figures by 2400 kilocalories. Okay. But this happen now you will say that this is only for the adults. Well, if there are children, if there are senior citizens in the house, then how we calculate their requirement? So if the age is from 1 to 3, the requirement is 0.4 consumption unit. That is 0.4 multiplied by 2400 kilocalories. 3 to 5 age, 0.5. Here gender difference is not there, and until adulthood we do not keep any difference for gender, because extra requirement is for growth, especially for females also. From 5 to 7 it is 0.6, and such increases. For adolescent, both male and female, it is 1 consumption unit. So for generally adolescent females are given very less food in the house. This is very wrong concept. The adolescent female require as much as an adult male. Okay. Now see, suppose this is an exercise. For family of 6, calculate energy requirement per day. So the head of the family is a sedentary male, clerk. He's clerk. So clerk is a sedentary male. His age is 35. 35 means he comes in the adult category, 19 to 39. Then his wife is Sunanda. That is, her age is 31. She is a housewife. Again, that is considered as sedentary. Then there is child of 9 years, child of 6 years. Then the father of that head of family is a Shankar. He is 61 years of age and he is retired. That is, he is a sedentary. And his mother is 52 years of age and she is also a housewife. Now remember, here is important. Shankar is a sedentary male, so his requirement should be 1 consumption unit, that is 2400 kilocalories. But his age is 61. That means he has crossed the 3 decades from 4th. So for 4th decade, that is 40 to 49, he should reduce the requirement by 5%. Then from 50 to 59, again he should reduce the requirement by 5%, that is cumulatively 10%. And from 60 to 69, the requirement reduced by 10 more percentage, that is in all total 20%. So 20, if you remove 20% from one consumption unit, it equates to 0.8 consumption unit. So that is our requirement. So for Ramesh, the requirement is of one consumption unit. For Sunanda, it is 0.8. For Rohan, again from due to his age is between 8 to 12, so his consumption unit is 0.8. Isha, his age is under 7, so her requirement is 0.6. Now by reducing by 20%, the requirement of Shankar is 0.8. And similarly, Malti is a female, sedentary female. The basic requirement of sedentary female of adult age group is 0.8. So 2 decades had crossed. So she's in second decade. So 10% reduction should be there. So 10% reduced from 0.8 is 0.72. This you may think is slightly difficult, but if you don't use consumption unit and if you directly use the figures of calorie requirement, then it becomes more complicated and difficult. So this is much easier to calculate. So you add the total consumption required, that comes to 4.72, and then your calorie requirement comes to 4.72 multiplied by 2400, that is 11,328 calories for the family. This is the requirement of the family. This is how you calculate the requirement of the family. Okay. This is a one homework exercise. Check here what the people are doing, what is their age, what is their occupation, and accordingly allocate the consumption unit. If any difficulty, you can comment on the video or you can contact me. If you not understand any part of this section, you can you write in the comment and we will discuss that. Okay, I think this is the easy one part. Next session, I think you will cover the diet in specific condition like diabetes, hypertension, kidney disorders, and obesity also. Because if your case is obese or diabetes, hypertension का case आ गया and that is obese, then you have to ask the person to reduce the weight. For reducing the weight, you have to ask them to reduce the calorie intake. Roughly before switching off, I will give you an idea. If the person wants to reduce a weight and that person is sedentary male of say 35 years, so what is its calorie requirement? Basal calorie requirement, it is 2400 kilocalories, but that person has to reduce the weight. So for that, the person should consume less calories. How much less that person should consume calories? If the person reduces the requirement by 10%, that is, if that person reduces roughly to 250 calories, if that person consumes less every day, then that person's weight will be reduced by 2 kg per month, and that is the best target. You should target to reduce your weight by 2 kg per month, or in patient's weight, not drastically 10-15 kgs per month. So for reducing 2 kg per month, the person should consume less calories by 10%. Remember this, or roughly 250 kilocalories. So you can judge from that person should consume how much calories. Okay, this is how you should plan a diet in your advice section of your case. Okay, thank you.